Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our weekly press conference. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the last full week of April here. It's hard to believe May is now less than a week away. We have several topics today, and I think you'll find these informative and interesting as well. First topic, since Monday, April 22nd, was Earth Day, and tomorrow, April 26th, is Arbor Day, we'll hear from our City of Erie arborist and sustainability coordinator, Sarah Peelman. She will talk about the special designation for our city that we all should be very, very proud of. It's related to trees. Second, our police department inspector, Chris Janis, will discuss opportunities for people to join the Erie Police Department. Presenting our third topic for today, Lieutenant Jamie Russo will tell us about the latest enhancements to the crisis unit and let you know about Saturday's Drug Take-Back Day for unwanted medications. So first, Earth Day, which started in 1970, is a reminder of the importance of environmental conservation and sustainability. Earth Day encourages everyone to work in unison to create a healthier planet and a brighter future. We will all have a part to play in protecting our environment, both locally and globally as well. Arbor Day was founded in 1872 and is a nationally celebrated day that encourages tree planting and care for trees. Here in Erie, we are reminded daily of the beauty of Lake Erie, the Bay, and the glorious natural beauty of our neighborhoods, parks, and all our green spaces. We are doing a lot in Erie to protect and enhance our environment. Now, when I took office in 2018, Erie, a community of choice, we were celebrating our rich cultural diversity, our welcoming, vibrant neighborhoods, our world-class downtown and bayfront, our excellent education for everyone, and our abundance of good family-sustaining jobs. As part of that effort, we created an Environmental Advisory Council. The role of the Environmental Advisory Council is to research identifiable environmental issues in Erie and make recommendations on how to best address these issues. We are fortunate in Erie to also have an urban forest committee which helps to achieve the city's vision for a healthy, diverse urban forest ecosystem made up of natural native trees and plants in the city, right-of-ways, public parks, and private properties as well. Trees do a number of things to improve our city. They purify the air, water, and soil. They absorb stormwater runoff, and they reduce carbon dioxide levels. We also know that trees benefit from the economy by attracting shoppers to local businesses and raising property values. Plus, studies have demonstrated a link to personal well-being with having trees in the immediate surroundings here. Here to tell us more about the environmental awareness efforts happening in Erie is arborist and sustainability coordinator Sarah Peelman. Sarah, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mayor. This year, 2024, is the 152nd anniversary of Arbor Day. I didn't realize Earth Day started in 1970. It's 1 year older than me. I was born in 71. But Arbor Day is older than that. The vision at the city for our urban forest is to have a healthy, diverse urban forest ecosystem made up of native trees and plants in all of our city right-of-ways, our public parks and boulevards, and on private properties, as the mayor stated. We want our native urban trees and our urban forests to sustain a diversity of flora and fauna and to be promoted and protected by citywide policies and dedicated funding, which provides a comprehensive urban forest program. Thanks to the hard work of the Urban Forest Committee and the city's commitment to plant and nurture our urban trees, we have received the designation of Tree City USA for the 18th year in a row. This year the award is for all our work that we had done in 2023. That includes planting of the new trees, trimming trees along city streets and in parks, and removing hazardous dead and dying trees. To help celebrate Arbor Day, we're asking city residents to plant a tree or to even just go outside and hug one. Every tree planted is a step in the right direction. Our observance this year of Arbor Day will be Saturday, April 27th at the Erie County Blasco Library from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Members of the Urban Forest Committee, the Relief Program, myself, and the Erie County Forester, Steve Laskowski, who's also here with me today. And many others will be handing out tree seedlings for folks to plant and providing educational resources about trees and our urban forest. Thank you for being here today, and I'd like to welcome Steve to come up.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. So on behalf of the National Arbor Day Foundation and the Pennsylvania State Forester, and representing DCNR Bureau of Forestry, I am pleased to present the Tree City USA designation to the City of Erie for their 18th year of recognition.
You got a lot of these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We also have a flag you get to hang up for Arbor Day.
Let it be known that the Tree City program recognizes the City of Erie and the community, thanks Sarah, that effectively and wisely manages public tree resources and encourages implementation of proper tree management throughout the community. A special thanks to the Urban Forestry Committee and the City of Erie for all of their time and effort in maintaining the Tree City designation for 18 years. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah and Steve, for continually protecting, promoting, and enhancing the natural environment here in Erie. Please keep up the good work you've been doing for many years already. The next couple of months are a very important time for anyone interested in becoming an officer in the Erie Police Department. Now more than ever, we need officers who are ready to serve our community as the next generation of law enforcement. Inspector Chris Janis is here. He leads the City Police Department in the recruiting effort, along with Tom Lennox, who's sitting in the back. We couldn't get him to sit up here. Here to tell us more is Inspector Janis, who will share the details of why and how to apply. Inspector, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm excited to announce that the City of Erie Police Department is now accepting applications. If you're looking for an exciting and rewarding career in law enforcement, the Erie Police Department may be for you. Some of the benefits of being an Erie police officer are a starting salary of just under $53,000, and after 5 years, Class A is projected to be around $100,000 a year. We also offer a type of lateral transfer if you meet requirements and work for a qualifying police agency. Officers are vested in a pension program after 12 years. We have 457B and 401A plans, and medical, dental, prescription, and vision insurance at a minimal cost. The Erie Police Department is a career agency with lots of opportunities for advancement. All new officers start in the patrol division, but have the option of bidding on positions when they become available. Some positions include patrol supervisors, SAT and NAT team, motorcycles, detectives, crime scene unit, traffic investigators, vice, and many more. Now that we've heard how great the Erie Police Department is, let's go over the application process. The application process opened April 3rd. The last day to submit an application is June 30th, 2024. Applications are handled by the Northwest Pennsylvania Regional Police Testing Consortium. Both the written and physical agility tests are scheduled for August 3rd, 2024. The physical test takes place at Cathedral Prep Haggerty Field Event Center at 501 West 12th Street. Applicants must successfully pass the following: a 300-meter run in 66 seconds, 30 sit-ups, 25 push-ups, and a 15.5 vertical jump, and finally, a 1.5-mile run in under 15 minutes and 55 seconds. Once you pass the physical test, you will be invited to attend the written test, which will be at the Mercyhurst University Municipal Police Training Academy. After successfully passing both the physical and written exams, applicants are placed on an eligibility list based on their score. Applicants that qualify for Veterans Preference Points will have 10 points added to their overall score. The requirements to be an Erie Police Officer are: applicants must be 21 years of age or older at the time of hire, They must be a U.S. citizen, possess a high school diploma or GED equivalent, must be Act 120 certified, meaning they must have graduated from the police academy. Also, applicants must agree to move within 15 miles of City Hall within a year of hire and have a valid driver's license. When an opportunity exists within the Erie Police Department, applicants must satisfy physical and psychological testing along with a background investigation, which is required by Pennsylvania state law and the Erie City Civil Service Commission. The Erie Police Department is dedicated to hiring the best applicants to serve the citizens of Erie with the professionalism that they're accustomed to. We are also taking proactive steps to increase minority hiring. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Lieutenant Tom Lennox, who handles our recruitment for the city of Erie. Since 2021, the Erie Police Department has hired 51 new police officers. 15 of those hires, or just over 29%, have been minorities. For more information about becoming an Erie police officer, visit epd.erie.pa.us/recruitment. Thank you, Mayor.
Can you go back up to something I'm supposed to say? Needs back up. Okay. Thank you very much, Inspector Janis. I really appreciate that. And now I want to introduce Lieutenant Lennox. Lieutenant Lennox is in the back. I appreciate your efforts to bring the best police officers to help us here in Erie. So now, doesn't look right. Okay, is that right? My team and I are very close to having a good working relationship with the Erie Police Department to ensure that our neighbors are vibrant and welcoming. Police Chief Dan Spizzarni, who's here in the back as well, and his leadership team are doing an excellent job making Erie a safe place to live, work, play, and raise a family. Erie Police use preventative strategies to stop crime. They build strong communities, relationships within our Erie neighborhoods and the downtown. A couple of weeks ago, we released crime statistics for the first quarter, which show an overall decrease in crime in Erie. One of the several initiatives that is contributing to an increase in the public safety is the specially trained crisis unit, which has 10 officers working around the clock. These 10 officers answer domestic-related calls, help people in crisis with mental and behavioral health issues, and connect residents to the needed services. Here today to tell us about some exciting news with the crisis unit that will be a huge help to citizens in need is Lieutenant Jamie Russo. Lieutenant Russo is also tell us about the importance of an upcoming drug take-back event here in City Hall and at UPMC Hammett. Lieutenant Russo, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I start with some pretty good, exciting news that we have in reference to our crisis unit, I want to kind of go back a little bit because actually May 1st of this year will be 1 year that we started the unit. Prior to that, there was a lot of, we had to kind of get our funding through ARP. We had a lot of people advocating for us in reference to the monies we needed to start this unit. We had the unit in the past within EPD, and we saw a need in our community to bring it back. Our chief did. So that being said, we started interviewing process once we got the ARP money. It was, we were able to apply for 10 positions within the Erie Police Department. These officers would be senior officers, officers who were willing to take on this responsibility, which is a very difficult job. These officers would have to maintain a high-level standard of professionalism. They would have to have great communication skills, solving problem techniques, and having a general knowledge of what services are out there in the public. Once these officers got hired, we had them go through 1 week of training. They already were experienced within the mental health system that we had developed within Erie, but this was something we wanted them to be a little bit more further educated on and be a little bit more of an expert within our department and within our community to help serve the citizens of Erie a little bit better. So for that week, they went through 40 hours of training, and this was put together not just by myself, but also a lot of help from Safe Harbor, Stacy Bittner, who you can hear from today with Crisis Services, and Dr. Mandy Fowle. They went through a lot of educational courses on mental health, homelessness. They went to different agencies throughout the city, They were presented with what those agencies do and how they could serve those citizens that are in need. And that all culminated with these 10 officers who were selected through the interview processes going out to our municipal police training program and do virtual reality training on scenario-based mental health calls. And it wasn't that what they did right or wrong, it was just what is the best approach. So they would be evaluated on each call and learn what they can do better. So that culminated with all the training they received earlier in that week. The unit began May 1st, 2023. After the training was done, we hit the street on May 8th, 2023. As of April 21st of this year, they responded to 2,392 calls of service that were designated within our mental health parameters, the crisis cards parameters. That'd be mental health calls, juvenile outreaches, homelessness, welfare checks, serving, and petitioning for 302s. This number, the 2,392, does not reflect the calls that they were on service that were to assist patrol in crime-related calls, shoplifting calls, calls of service where they're still police officers and assisted the units out on the street. So that's a big number that we started with. What we saw in the vision that we had with this unit prior to it being out on the street and what we knew that we needed from the previous crisis call, and we knew what was a success and what we wanted to start doing because of the information we received from many individuals such as Dr. Falbo and Stacy, was building relationships like anything else. Getting out there, having a standard of care, a continuity of care of the officers who are out on the street. These officers work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the same shifts. They're out there working the street, knowing and learning and getting to recognize the individuals that we provide service to on a daily basis. And even better, those individuals who are in need get to learn who these officers are. Through my 25 years of policing, when I was on the street, the number one thing that I used was relationships that I built. As I reviewed body camera footage this past year on the incidents that these officers who are on the crisis unit calls for service they are on, you could tell from the majority of these calls that the individuals they maybe who were having a mental health break or who was homeless or maybe agitated, when these officers who arrived on scene had a relationship previously built with this community, things were disarmed pretty quickly. We were able to get things calmed down and be able to provide the services that are most important in the job that needed to be done instead of having to deal with trying to build those relationships because they're already being built. So that's one of the most successful things that I would say that we have done. Like I said, these officers are out there every single day with these same people, building relationships, knowing when they're feeling good, when they're not feeling good, knowing when they possibly are decompensating, when they're not decompensating, knowing who their caseworkers may be, knowing who their service providers may be, and making those referrals and getting them the help they need. This has ultimately led into the lowering of the involuntary commitments that we've had to do, and just the general ease, not all the time, but the calls that we offer services have been a little bit more successful. So that's a big win for us. But as anything else within our Erie Police Department, our chief and mayor here always want us to be striving to do better. I think this program, just from what I've seen, because I was here with the last administration that had the crisis car and what we're doing currently today, what can we do better as we ask ourselves? Yes, this is going great. There's always room for improvement. We're always evolving this car from the things that we learned, but what can we do better? So when we found out there was an opportunity for a grant out there, we applied for a grant which enabled us to hire 2 crisis service workers who would be directly tied to our crisis team. Once again, building on that strategy of relationships, building on that strategy of getting to know the people that we're serving and having them get to know us so we can have positive conversations. This is a no-brainer. We applied for it, we received it. With the help of the program director, Stacy Bittner, and Dr. Mandy, we were able to apply for that grant, go through the interview process, and these are experienced crisis workers who were hired. There'll be 2 crisis workers, and they're here today with us, and Stacy we'll give her the floor here in a minute, we'll have to be quiet, but she'll introduce and talk exactly about what they will be doing. But for us, this is a huge win, and we're super excited to get these guys out there, which they just started this Monday out in the community. But they have already been working with our crisis workers that already have familiarization with our crisis community and our homeless communities. So just building upon that and gathering the data on what we're doing successful, we're super excited to find out about, because I know this is going to be a big win for our city. So with that, I talked enough here. I'm going to introduce you to the program director, Stacy Bittner, who's going to go into a little bit more specific on what the crisis services and the two crisis workers will be doing on a daily. Stacey.
So good morning, everybody. He actually was doing a great job. I could have just given him my sheet, and maybe he could have handled it for me. So, Inspector Janice, I have a son who's only 7, but he'll probably be one of your recruits down the line. So, again, on behalf of Safe Harbor, on behalf of Crisis Services, we're honored to be partnering with Erie Police Department in this way. Crisis Services has been serving people in our community for over 30 years. So as Lieutenant Russo had referenced, as many of us may recall or be aware of, the Warren to Erie Project. And so individuals at that time who were at Warren State Hospital and being transitioned back to Erie community. We have people on our staff who actually remember the previous crisis cars as well. And so that provided us with an opportunity of being able to advocate in the time that was needed to really bring these cars back. Those same individuals actually now have the opportunity of assisting in the training, as Lieutenant Russo had mentioned, so very proud of our team for being able to do that and to contribute in that way. So now, as Lieutenant Russo had said, we're partnering with the Erie Police Department to really bring a co-responder program to the city of Erie. Through some grant funding, as he had mentioned, we were able to hire 2 crisis clinicians. As Lieutenant Russo had said, that they both have a wealth of experience in these roles, have been with us in crisis for some time, and so this is a great opportunity to really bring their skill sets forward and to help in a larger way, and exclusively working with our Erie Police Department. So what we're seeing in the field, so hopefully people are hearing of 988 and what that entails. That's the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. So that really provides people with an alternative to calling 911. So if somebody has a behavioral health need, they could call 988 and get connected to somebody to talk about their behavioral health needs. So there is a lot happening to divert individuals who are not in need of a police or co-response. However, there are times when people are in need and they're calling 911, and so ultimately officers are on scene and they might be recognizing that the person is experiencing a behavioral health crisis. This program allows them to call crisis and request for that co-response. So the co-response of law enforcement and crisis clinicians together really enhances the safety through a partnered approach to ensure that people get the treatment that is needed when it's needed. So we have been collaborating with Erie Police Department as well as other jurisdictions for some time in crisis in this manner. But with this program, what it really allows us to do is to expedite the response of our staff. I have shared with actually just some officers earlier today that we serve all of Erie County from crisis services. So we might have staff in Northeast, we might be down in Corey, and so sometimes that response might be challenging. Well, now we have 2 staff who are designated for the Erie Police Department. So when they're in need, we have people who can respond to their call in a very timely manner. The other expectation with this role is that we're going to be able to provide some follow-up care. Being able to, it's not just meeting that person that one time, but it's being able to call and check in on them. Have they been able to get connected to the services that we were talking about or that we're recommending, or both identifying that this would be helpful for them? Do they need help getting connected? But that really, even just that follow-up call to let that person know we were thinking about you, we care about you, we want to make sure that you're getting the care that you need is very meaningful, very impactful for people. So as I had said, the aim of this program is really to offer that support and resources to Erie citizens as timely as possible to prevent the need for higher levels of care, such as inpatient hospitalization as well. So working with our crisis clinicians, really to address the behavioral health needs that are needed, and again, being able to follow up in the days, the weeks after that initial crisis. So our goal through this program is to really work very closely with the Erie Police Department. How can we divert people from further legal involvement, presenting to the hospital, inpatient hospitalizations. We want, when we go back to the Warren to Erie project, the meaning behind that is we want to keep our community, the individuals in our community. So how do we really help them to receive that support that they need? So we're very excited about this opportunity, and again, just excited about all the great things to happen, and also just wanted to share, while having an opportunity that, if people are experiencing a mental health crisis or behavioral health crisis, for them to feel, welcome to call 988 or our local crisis center, which is 814-456-2014. So, Jamie?
I would be remiss if I didn't say Stacy and Dr. Mandy have been an integral part of implementing not just our crisis car, but they were here from the beginning when we were trying to obtain ARP money. They were here, helped organize the training sessions that these officers have had and gave trainings themselves. They were there to help fill out the grant paperwork. I don't know how to do that, but to get this process started. And they're actually here right now every day, 3 days a week, training our officers at second quarter training on mental health, getting them more educated so we can provide a better service. So I just would be remiss if I didn't make that point to just how integral part of the success that we've had so far with this program is due to the fact of the partnership that we have with UPMC and Safe Harbor. So thank you. All right, I'm back for something else now, so please be patient. Drug take back. I'd like to announce we will be conducting our semi-annual DEA drug take back this Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to be at 2 locations once again this year, UPMC Hammond Hospital's lobby and City Hall's 626 State Street's front lobby, just behind you. We'll also have UPMC Safe Harbor Crisis Services on site. They'll be handing out home drug disposal kits and single-use Narcan while supplies last. So once again, our partnerships, we have evolved this take back, and it's not just EPD doing it, but also having these partnerships come out and provide a better service for our community and at different locations to hopefully collect more of the drugs. Let's see where we're at here. We believe we'll bring all these service providers, adding an additional drug tape-off location to help serve the citizens of Erie better. The National DEA Take Back Initiative is a great opportunity to dispose of unneeded prescription medication. These are old, unwanted, or no longer needed, are a public safety issue, too often becoming a gateway to addiction. The drug overdose epidemic in the United States is a clear and present public health, public safety, and national security threat. DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day reflects DEA's and the City of Erie Police Department's commitment to America's safety and health, encouraging the public to remove unneeded medications from their homes as a measure of preventing medication misuse and opioid addiction from ever starting. The majority of opioid addictions start with prescription pills found in medicine cabinets at home. Pharmaceutical drugs can be just as dangerous as street drugs when taken without prescription or doctor's supervision. A majority of people who misuse prescription medications were obtained from medicines from family members or friends. Participants may dispose of medications, some rules that we have, they may dispose of medications in their original containers or by removing the medication from its container and disposing it directly into the disposal box. We'll always have 2 officers on scene to make sure of your confidentiality, and we will secure these prescription boxes ourselves for continuity of care and drive them up to an undisclosed location where we will meet the DEA and drop them off, so they will be secure. Liquid products such as cough syrups should remain sealed in their original containers, making sure the cap is tightly sealed to prevent leakage. We will not be accepting intravenous solutions, injectables, and syringes due to the potential hazards posed by blood-borne pathogens. This year, we'll also be collecting vape pens and e-cigarette devices from individual consumers, but this is only after batteries are removed from the devices. Once again, we will be at 2 locations, UPMC Hammond Hospital front lobby and the City of Erie front lobby, 626 State Street, this Saturday, April 27th from 10 to 2. Mayor?
Thanks very much, Lieutenant Russo, and Stacy as well. Thank you very much. I believe that our crisis counselors are going to be a tremendous asset to helping people that need the help the most here in Erie. So I want to thank all the men and women of the Erie Police Department. I feel very lucky to have all of them. They work together on our partnership in the community, such as UPMC, Safe Harbor, all law enforcement partners, community centers, and local social and faith-based organizations. They strengthen the police community partnerships, and they help us to transform Erie. I'm really very proud and very happy with the work our police are doing, and not just the 2 here, but the 6 in the back, and all of our police are doing very great work. We really appreciate that. And that concludes this week's press conference. Please follow us on social media for the very latest updates on everything happening here in the city of Erie. Thanks very much for being here or watching today. And everyone who spoke is now available for interviews. Did you hear that? Thank you.